Who doesn't love to pretend to be someone else every once in a while? Whether doing imitations or full-on cosplay for our favorite TV, movie, or comic heroes, it's a chance to escape the drudgery of our own lives and delve into a world of fantasy. Hell, one need only look at Halloween as a perfect example of people the world over just wanting to be something else for one night. I mean, it's true, it's mainly the Joker or Brandon Lee's The Crow, but still, for that brief shining moment, you're not just Dave from IT or Marlon from HR, you're a zombie, a sexy Mario, or even your favorite wrestler. We know that wrestlers already spend their days playing larger-than-life characters and walking around in brightly colored spandex, but even they want to push the medium further from time to time and have taken part in dressing up as one another. Most of the time it's to draw heat, but sometimes it's an affectionate tribute. But anyway, that's not the point. What is that I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 times wrestlers portrayed other wrestlers. Number 10, D-Generation X as the Nation. Shawn Michaels' his second run with the WWE was even more extraordinary when you consider how his first had ended. In short, it ended in a bad way, with drug abuse, Shawn spiraling both mentally and physically, and with him pissing off everyone in the locker room. Therefore, for him to get another sniff at the championship and on a base level even wrestle again was a huge surprise. But while he'd been off for those 4 years, he'd missed the company's most successful and profitable years, and he'd also lost the chance to become even bigger as DX continued on without him. Although, on the other hand, at least he missed out on DX dressing up as the Nation on Monday Night Raw. Triple H and the boys rocked up as the Croc, B-Lo, and all sorts of terrible puns and acted in over-the-top fashion while having a laugh, and Chyna, well, I think she was trying to join in, but you know what? It's hard to tell over the sound of all of this terrible blackface. They even threw in a hey, 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 Fat Albert chant for good measure. Not a good look. And remember, kids, this wasn't the bloody 40s. This was 1998. Number 9, The Miz As The Rock. It's hard enough to break into the main event scene in the WWE, but for The Miz, he found himself not only having to scramble to get into the spotlight in the first place, but then also having to cling desperately onto relevance in his own title reign and WrestleMania main event. And this was all thanks to The Rock showing up and setting up a showdown between himself and Cena in 2011, relegating The Miz to the sideline. But as we all know from The Miz, he wasn't going to leave quietly, and so decided to invoke the wrath of the Great One on an episode of Raw. Here, Cena was unsuccessfully fending off Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay in the ring when suddenly The Rock's music hit to a massive pop. It turned out, however, that this was simply The Mock, aka The Miz, in a bold cap. Still though, he managed to help out Del Rio and Brodus and deliver a rock bottom for good measure, which just added to the weirdness of this spot. First, why did he even bother coming down? It was already 2-on-1. Secondly, the commentary put this stunt over as a clever ruse, but there was no way that Cena needed to be fooled as he was taking a beating at the time. It's not like he was going to stop and say, "Oh, nice one, mate, good joke that." And thirdly, the beatdown after the pop was tonally at odds with the comedy inherently infused with this type of move. Weird, weird, weird. Number 8, The Undertaker As Kane. In a better bit of storyline subterfuge, The Undertaker managed to get one over on Vince McMahon and WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin in 1998 to the surprise of all attending. A triple threat match between the Phenom, Kane, and Mankind was derailed when Taker didn't show. Frustrated, McMahon stormed to the ring and made the ring announcer call the Phenom chicken shit as the match was officially made 1-on-1. This put Mankind on the back foot though, as he refused to fight my friend Kane. Kane himself had no such qualms and blasted Mankind with a chair before dragging him into the ring for a quick pin. The crowd was pretty stunned at how brutally Kane had taken Mankind apart, but then suddenly all became clear. McMahon and Austin, who had been bickering across a crowded commentary booth, were suddenly united in their chagrin when The Undertaker revealed himself from underneath Kane's mask. The Undertaker actually dressed as Kane a few times in the late 90s, and thanks to their similar build and moveset, it meant that fans rarely could spot the ruse until the mask and the subsequent gloves came off. Number 7, Hunico As Sin Cara. Generally, when WWE signs a new wrestler, be it a Japanese star, indie darling, or whatever, they get sent to the Performance Center to learn the WWE way of doing things and eventually find themselves on episodes of NXT. I mean, there are exceptions who leapt straight up to the main roster, but these are very rare. And maybe this stringent approach had come from just how badly the company was burned in 2000 2011 with Sin Cara. Now, this signing was a big deal for Vince, who was basically looking to make a new Rey Mysterio, and when they signed Sin Cara, they pushed his presence within the company anywhere they could. And sadly, things didn't pan out. He struggled to adapt to the WWE style of working the left side of the body instead of the right, which is traditional in Mexico. This, plus the insane amount of botches and weird lighting for his matches, soon made him into a laughingstock. By 2011, he'd been replaced under the mask by Hunico, and while this led to a greater in-ring consistency, most casual fans wouldn't have even noticed the switch. Yet it was too little, too late, with the WWE Universe cooling on the talent no matter who was playing the role. Number 6. Glen Jacobs as Diesel and Rick Bogner as Razor Ramon. When Vince McMahon allowed Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to leave WWE in 1996, he didn't just lose two top stars, he gifted rival company WCW the Outsiders and the roadmap to form the NWO. Yet, if you asked Vince where Razor and Diesel were at the time, he'd have just said, "Well, they're right here," and point to fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon played by Rick Bogner and Glen Jacobs. It was incredibly disappointing to say the least. Of course, Jacobs would go on to establish himself as the Big Red Machine and become a legend of the business later on, but sadly the same couldn't be said for his erstwhile partner in crime, as poor old Rick Bogner really never recovered from his stint as fake Razor. Number 5. Chris Jericho as Doink. Several wrestlers donned the face paint and wig to play Doink the Clown over the years. The erstwhile Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, Ray Apollo, and of course Matt Bourne, who was the original Doink and still widely considered to be the best version thanks to his portrayal as a malicious and unsettling clown. However, there was one more who donned the grease paint, Chris Jericho. Now, in all fairness, Jericho wasn't taking on the Doink gimmick, he was actually disguising himself as the clown for one night only to ambush William Regal and gain the upper hand in their feud for the Intercontinental title, but there was, however, no explaining this to Shawn Michaels. According to Jericho's book, Undisputed: How to Become World Champion in 1,372 Easy Steps, Chris was in full clown costume when he encountered a wasted Michaels backstage. Recognizing his colleague under Doink's painted smile, the story goes that the showstopper thought that this was Jericho's new full-time gig. Despite Jericho's repeated attempts to explain, Shawn just didn't get it. He clearly felt sorry that such a talented wrestler had been forced into the Doink costume and ended their conversation by saying, "I don't like it. They should have never made you Doink." Michaels was in such a state that he passed out on Vince's couch and was fired from the company that same night. Insert pun about who is the real clown of the evening here. Number 4. Zelina Vega as AJ Lee. Fighting with My Family, aka The Page Story, aka The Rock is in this film, had numerous stars play themselves in minor roles. However, there was obviously a fair few issues trying to get AJ Lee back in as herself for the moment where Paige dethroned her to become Divas champion. Lee simply couldn't be omitted from the picture as she had played a massive role in the rise of the anti-divas. So therefore it fell to Zelina Vega to fill AJ's shoes, slapping Paige before smugly offering up her title as a prize in their fight. Since Vega plays Andrade's heel mouthpiece on WWE TV, it was hardly a stretch, but the role required more wrestling of her than WWE's product had done at the time, which is a real shame by the way because she is bloody excellent at it. Watching the scene in a video for GQ, CM Punk's thoughts were light on critical analysis. Punk claimed that Lee had better abs than Vega, but that they had found somebody as short as my wife, so that's very realistic. He's hoping for some slightly deeper analysis in his spots on the WWE backstage. Number 3. Curtis Axel as Hulk Hogan. The former Michael McGillicuddy may have never lived up to the reputation of his famous father, but you know what? How can you ever match up to actual perfection? And too late in the day, Curtis realized that his strengths weren't in trying to emulate, but were actually in his comedic roles such as with Bo Dallas in the B-Team. However, his finest hour came after the 2015 Royal Rumble. Never properly eliminated from the match, having never properly entered the ring, he campaigned to be instated as the Rumble's true winner. Calling the campaign #AxelMania, he began wearing Hulk Hogan-style ring gear and delivering promos using Hogan's voice and mannerisms. He was even paired with a man known for his impersonations, Damien Sandow, who worked a Macho Mandow gimmick as well. Brilliantly, the team became known as the Meta Powers. I mean, for all the criticism WWE Creative received, someone was on fire that day. Sadly for Axel, just when things were going well, Hulk Hogan, well, he legged himself into oblivion for a while and suddenly his jokes didn't seem as funny. Number 2. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate as each other. Ahead of Attack Pro Wrestling's Press Start 5 summer show, the Anti-Fun Police stole a Nintendo GameCube that was used to power the show itself and destroyed it. This caused a computer glitch affecting the staff, wrestlers, and booking. And it was just brilliant. Like some sort of broken NPC or, if you're going to be more current, WWE 2K20, it was brilliant and do not let anyone tell you any differently. The show also featured a Pete Dunne Dunn and Tyler Bate match, with the pair also glitching out and becoming each other. It was a match played for laughs all the way down to Dunn admitting, "I should know my way out of this," after he got trapped in one of his own holds. And guess how the match ended? It ended when the glitch caused the referee to freeze, unable to count the pin. And I know what you're thinking, sure, this sort of thing will fly on the indies, but I bet they knocked it on the head when Vince McMahon came calling. But you should know this. This match took place just days after the pair's acclaimed battle at TakeOver Chicago. Yeah. And number 1, Shawn Michaels as Hulk Hogan. Since his unexpected return to WWE, Michaels had been working as a babyface. However, when the chance came to face Hogan, that was cast aside. Apparently, Hogan didn't want a face versus face battle splitting the crowd reaction. I mean, perhaps he was just wary of pushing his luck after his incredible reception at WrestleMania against The Rock, or perhaps it was just more backstage politicking, seeing as the man loved to be at the forefront of everything. This brief heel turn for Michaels did lead to a career-best promo, with him perfectly portraying the irrepressible dickhead in Montreal. It also had Michaels dressing up in shades, Hulkamania t-shirt, and a bold cap to spoof Hogan's recent appearance on Larry King. Shawn looked to be having a ball, hamming it up as the Hulkster, posing, gesticulating wildly, and cramming in a "brother" every third word. He even threw digs at Hulk's spine problems and reputation for backstage politicking. However, if you really want to see what Michaels thought of the man, just take a look at their match. That overselling was like a knife to the heart of Hogan each and every time. And there we go, those were 10 times wrestlers portrayed other wrestlers. I hope that you enjoyed that, my friends. Whatever you were getting up to today, I hope that you go out there and absolutely smash it, because I know that we talked today about imitations, about other people trying to be other people, but you know what? There is only one you, and you are a bloody legend, my friend. Don't let anyone tell you any differently, because no one has the power to put you down. You deserve love, happiness, and success like all humans do, and you should do everything in your power to go out there and strive to achieve those things. And if you need help, that is perfectly okay. A lot of people need help. Remember, friends, family, and professionals in the support industry, we all want you to do well. You are not alone. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.